Gaming Division.
Hey everybody, welcome to Gaming Division. I'm Cameron. Today we're going to take a look at Peggle and Peggle Nights. This is for the PC Steam version. I actually got the bundle where you got Peggle and Peggle Nights together, so I finished Peggle and I was like, well, let me try Peggle Nights. And yeah, essentially Peggle Nights is just more Peggle, which is always a good thing. So the short sale of Peggle is that you have a cannon at the top of the screen which you shoot down onto all these pegs which will light up and disappear. The goal is to clear off all the red ones and you get bonuses for purple or green. They also have a little bucket at the bottom that the ball can fall into and you can recycle your ball. Sort of like reverse pinball. My love for this, even though that was kind of a complicated short sale, is that it's extremely simple, very accessible, and it's still fun and still involves a bit of skill, so there's a decent amount of gameplay to it. My hate it is almost the same thing. There's a significant amount of luck along with skill based on the mechanics that they program and how the ball behaves. Sometimes the way that ball bounces around doesn't make any sense. Let's get on the categories.
Aesthetics.
This is a pretty enough game, but PopCap, I'm sorry, it's not a stellar looking game. It's just good enough. It's got decent graphics, it's not over pixelated, there's not really any mistakes, but there's certainly nothing to wow you about it. Plus the little goofy animals are just annoying. I'd rather play a version that doesn't have them and you just have the power set that you're going to use for that level. Aesthetics gets an 80.
Control interface.
Again, simple. You have a cannon at the top that you move with your mouse, and then you click to release the ball. Occasionally you have other elements in the game that you have to click to activate and whatnot, but they kept it simple. You can play the entire game with the mouse, and it actually works really well. There's no confusion, there's no redundancy. It's just simple, it works. It's exactly what it needs to be for this sort of game. With that said, it's not the most interesting. There's nothing special about it. Control interface gets an 85.
Environmental controls.
The environment's so confusing because that ball does not seem to hold any rules about how it behaves. It just bounces all over the place. Fine, and I'm sure they compensated correctly for ball mechanics. I had my own stab at it. It's much more difficult than it sounds. But with the extra add-ons they add in and the way the levels are randomly generated, it makes the game inconsistent to keep it fresh, I guess. It also makes it a little bit difficult to get a hold of the game and really build up the skill part as opposed to luck. Eventually when I'm playing I just start going, well, I guess there, and then I click just to see what happens, which is fine because you'll start the level over again, everything will be in different pegs, but it'll be fine. Environmental controls gets a 70.
Game mechanics.
I can't say that the level design in this one is really geared towards helping build the skill. They seem very randomly assorted, and then some of them just kind of irritating because you can literally get to a point where you can't win the level based on how the pegs have been removed. So it forces you to do very specific things in a game otherwise where you can do about anything, especially with randomly generated pegs. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't like that the pegs are randomly generated. I'd rather have fixed puzzles to work with. And the point system for getting new balls is very, very awkward to work with. And it almost seems like if you follow the purple ball as much as possible, you should get balls out the wazoo and never lose. But it almost never works that way. Whereas if you play a normal game, you can end up getting 2 balls in one round. And again, just sort of confusing. It'd be nice to see under the hood just a little bit PopCap. Game mechanics gets a 70. Now if you total all that up, you get an average of 76.25. For my wrap-up review, this is an amazingly fun game for being so simple, and everyone should try it. They're still bundled together on Steam. Definitely go pick it up. Hopefully the price is low enough where it's not intimidating. I think this is a fun game for anyone and everyone should give it a try. Worst case, if you know somebody who has it, try it out on their system and then buy your own copy later, because if you like it, you're going to want it. That's it for me. I'm Cameron. If you don't like me, bite me. If you want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations and they'll take you to our other channels.